What's up, everybody? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham. The 2025 NBA trade deadline is over, which means it's time to shift our focus to the buyout market. Lots of names already emerging as potential buyout candidates, so we will dive into some names here in just a moment. Now, there is a note that everybody should be made aware of. With all these new rules, aprons, all these terms with the new salary cap stipulations and everything. If you're in the first or second apron, which is more than a few teams, several teams in there, you cannot sign a player that gets bought out if said player was making more than $12.8 million on their prior contract. So, there are a few examples of that. Malcolm Brogdon is making $22 million. So if he were to get bought out, if you are an apron team, you cannot sign that player on the buyout market. So it's one of these new rules where they're trying to limit, teams' ability to stack rosters essentially. And so take that for what it's worth. Okay, with the deadline passed, the next big event, unless you count the All-Star break, are the playoffs. Who is ready for the NBA playoffs? I know I am. NBA for me, very much a postseason sport, not as much regular season. So if you're fired up about the playoffs, hit that like button on today's show. Okay, let's talk about some buyout candidates. Ben Simmons is a big name that is already circulating on the potential buyout market with the Brooklyn Nets. Recent reports, post-trade deadline, Brian Windhorst and Bobby Marks of ESPN have thrown out the Houston Rockets and Cleveland Cavaliers as a pair of teams to watch for Simmons if he were to get bought out. Both are young, ascending teams. Cleveland made a big trade today for DeAndre Hunter. The Rockets have kept their young core together, but if they wanted to add a defensive, versatile defender in Simmons who could also be a playmaker offensively with a really young core, that would be intriguing as well. I think at this point in his career, he's best suited as like a reserve role, be a backup playmaker that can defend multiple positions. So keep an eye on Simmons. I think the Nets will be a team that'll look to shed some contracts. Where should Ben Simmons go? What say you? Should it be the Rockets? Should it be the Cavs? Should it be someone else? Name a team that you think Ben Simmons should go sign with. Malcolm Brogdon next up here with the Washington Wizards. They're going to be a common theme here. Again, he's making $22 million per year. So if it's an apron team, they would not be able to sign him if he were to get bought out. Remember, players have to agree to buyout. So, if you're Malcolm Brogdon, you're probably not shedding a fat majority of your remaining contract. If the team's willing to eat most of it, then you might agree to a buyout if it saves the team a couple $1 million. But if he has $10 million left this season, maybe he'd agree to knock $2 million off of that. So we'll see if he does that. We'll see if he ends up becoming available. Bruce Brown with the Pelicans is next up, the wing who obviously played a major role for the Denver Nuggets a couple of years ago when they won their championship. Ended up leaving in free agency, signed with Indiana. He's bounced around since then, Toronto, now with the Pelicans. We'll see what the Pelicans' plans for him are, what they're going to do. Obviously, they traded Brandon Ingram away to get Bruce Brown. We'll see if they buy him out and if he signs with a contender before the playoffs get going. Bojan Bogdanovic. Bogdan got traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, but Bojan, who's getting older, certainly a declining player, but if a team is looking for a bench scorer that can help them come playoff time, Bogdanovic could certainly provide that. He can score at all three levels. He can post up. He's got the mid-range. He can shoot the three ball as well. And Brooklyn's a team, obviously, that's not going anywhere this season. PJ Tucker, 39 years young. Is he going to report to Toronto or is he just going to get bought out? Who knows? He has said in the past he did not want to forego money via buyout, but now with it being the last year of his deal and at 39 years old, does he want to, I don't want to use the word rot, but just be wasted away on a team that has no chance of winning this year? This might be his last year in the NBA. Would he rather get bought out and try to tag on it with the team who's trying to contend for a championship, even if he doesn't have a role? I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with PJ Tucker. All right, some more players to dive into here in just a moment. But first, I do want to tell you guys about today's sponsor. That, of course, is PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you sign up and play and set your first lineup for just $5. Doesn't matter if you win that $5 entry, you're going to get 50 for free. The way to set a lineup is simple. You pick 2 or more players from 2 or more different teams, regardless of sport, and you pick more or less on the several stat projections that are available. You get a freebie out of the gate for the big game this weekend. Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. If you just do a 2-player lineup, you're already halfway home to cashing out some money. So take advantage of that. Pair that with something else. Put that in some of your lineups this week. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get that $50 bonus when you sign up. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states, 10 million users and counting. If it's available in your state, you should be playing. And right now, certain lineups, you can win up to 1,000 times your money if you do win. $10 could turn into 10,000. So check out the different lineups available and get started with PrizePicks. Okay, we've got Marcus Smart. I mean, man, it's been a rough go for him. He gets traded from Boston to Memphis last year. The Celtics win a title, and the Grizzlies miss the playoffs because Ja Morant basically misses the entire season. This year, Memphis is having a good year. He gets traded to Washington, the worst team of the NBA. But he still has like 20-something million bucks coming, I think, next season. So it's just like, I don't know. I mean, he might just play it out, but the Wizards are such a joke, and he's used to being on competitive teams. But I think there'd be a lot of interest in Marcus Smart on the buyout market if he were to become available. So we'll see if that ends up happening. Reggie Jackson, he seems to always be in the mix for these situations. Ended up in Denver a couple years ago via a buyout. Now he's also in Washington. I mean, the Wizards are just a team going nowhere fast. So we'll see if he is someone that gets bought out once again and tries to join a contender. Marvin Bagley III, the front court player with the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll see if the Grizz have a plan for him moving forward. Is he going to be a big part of what they're doing, or is he someone that they buy out? We'll have to wait and see. Could he get some backup minutes for a team who's light in the front court? You never know, but as of now, that remains unclear. Make sure you guys subscribe to us here if you love the NFL, the NBA, college football, and all major sports stories. We cover it all here at Chat Sports. Our next big event is Super Bowl Sunday. We will be live for a watch party, so be sure to join us for that. And more NBA coverage to come for you hoop heads, so definitely do not miss out. Josh Richardson is next up here. You know, Utah and Washington, they have a lot of players that, and Brooklyn as well, that feel like could get bought out. Richardson is certainly another one of them, defensive-minded guard who could score a little bit as well. We'll see if he's someone who's on the move here. And then lastly is Daniel Tice. He ended up in Oklahoma City. I don't think he's getting minutes there, so there could be a team, again, kind of like Bagley, that if they need some front court depth, maybe that's where he ends up. Or if you're Tice and they're willing to keep you, maybe just kind of try to cherry pick yourself to a championship, because the Thunder are going to be one of the top teams to beat in the Western Conference. All right, who is the top buyout candidate? I would say Ben Simmons and Marcus Smart are two names that are going to be discussed heavily. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like I mentioned, we will continue to pump out content, NBA, NFL, college football, and more. My name is Harrison Graham. We will see you guys next time.